We just wrapped up a 2-day all-hands SBJ editorial retreat in Charlotte on Thursday. We finished the event with a focus group of hardcore SBJ readers sharing their thoughts on our products, and it was good to get their point of view on what we do. If you have any thoughts to share on what we should start doing, stop doing, or keep doing, please let me know. And this is your morning Buzzcast for Friday, October 10th. I'm Abe Madkour. The NBA is back in China for the first time in 6 years. And this is notable, as the league will play 2 preseason games in China this weekend. The matchup is the Nets against the Suns, and that is intentional. Who is the owner of the Nets? Yes, you got it. Zhou Zai, one of the most successful business executives in China, and the Nets are one of the most popular teams in the country. Remember, the NBA had great hopes and a lot of business in China, but relationships between the NBA and China have been tense after Daryl Morey's tweet years ago. And the NBA has also heard criticisms from U.S. lawmakers about not taking a stronger public stance about China's human rights record. But there are signs that relationships between the league and China are becoming more positive. Today in China, the NBA announced a multi-year deal with its counterpart, the Chinese Basketball Association, that Adam Silver called transformational. He said it would allow China's next generation of players to become, quote, the greatest players they can be, end quote, obviously trying to develop a pipeline to the NBA. Also, the NBA's deal with Chinese company Tencent has been renewed, and some NBA players went to China recently with various sponsors. So there's a lot more back and forth between the league and China. The Nets are set to play today, Friday, and Sunday against the Suns at the Venetian Arena, which is owned by the Las Vegas Sands Corporation. Of course, that has connections to the Mavericks and owner Patrick Dumont. Patrick Dumont believes there will be more preseason games in China next year and in the years to come. Now, I was asked recently about how the teams do a trip to China. What's it like? Well, for the teams, it is quite the effort. It's a week-long stay. Expenses are shared by the NBA and the 2 teams. The NBA pays for the charter flight, ground transportation, hotels, meals, and practice facility for the teams, while the teams pay for any additional travel. Let's take the Suns, for example. More than 120 Suns team members, that's players and coaches, executives, operational crew, will make the trip either between private charter or commercial flights. The Suns will also take corporate partners and guests to China as well. So a big weekend for the NBA. We will give you all the reaction to the NBA's return to China on Monday. Let's move on. I'm sure you're waiting with bated breath to learn about some new details of the NFL's Pro Bowl. Well, my colleague Ben Fisher reports that the NFL is planning to move the Pro Bowl to the Super Bowl market each year, where the exhibition would become part of the really ever-expanding Super Bowl week festivities. So the NFL adding more arsenal to the league's biggest week. And while details of the plan are not fully baked, sources said the vision calls for the Pro Bowl to evolve into a more made-for-television production, and sources expect this plan to be implemented in time for this upcoming postseason in San Francisco. Remember, the Super Bowl will be hosted at Levi Stadium on February 8th. Now, it's not known where exactly in the San Francisco area the Pro Bowl would be played. It wouldn't be played at Levi Stadium, but a number of venues could be in play, and the Pro Bowl has been a big challenge for the NFL. They really have to try to get it right and figure out what this game is all about. This would be the second major change in 3 years for the Pro Bowl. And for the league, the issue has become an operational issue. It's really hard to do the Pro Bowl right after the Super Bowl with staffing and operational people. And also, it just gets lost in everything. Some theorize that players selected to the Pro Bowl may be more likely to actually participate in the game if it is part of Super Bowl week, where so many players already have commercial obligations. So the thinking is the players could go play on Sunday and stay for a few days while they're in the Super Bowl city. So a lot of moving parts, but it looks like the Pro Bowl will be played the Sunday before the Super Bowl in the Super Bowl's host city. I'll turn to another colleague, my guy Austin Karp, for the trends in viewership, and they continue to grow. Yes, Austin has talked a lot, and we've talked a lot about the addition of big data to the viewership numbers, and they are making a difference. And here is what you need to know. Major League Baseball, for its league divisional series, it's seeing its best audience since 2010. Yes, 15 years. The audience for the league divisional series up 6% for the complete postseason. Complete postseason so far. MLB is up 35% from last year. It's the league's best viewership numbers since 2015. And stop me if you've heard this before. The NFL is at its best mark through week 5 since 2010. Their viewership numbers are up 8% from last year. And one other thing, you want to know why every sports property wants the NFL as its lead-in? Well, here's a good example. A big number for the NFL on CBS last Sunday helped the PBR draw nearly 3 million viewers for a team series event. That's the PBR team series, and that was the PBR's best audience on CBS since it started its relationship back in 2012. So yes, the power of a good NFL lead-in. Big news at the New York Islanders. They have hired longtime AEG Sports Chief Operating Officer Kelly Cheeseman as their president of business operations. He also becomes an alternate governor for the team. Cheeseman was a 2014 SBJ 40 under 40 honoree. He has spent virtually his entire career at AEG. He joined the LA Kings ticket sales staff in 2001. Now he'll make the move across the country later this month to start his new job November 1st with the Islanders. Turnkey ZRG assisted the Islanders in the search. Now, Kelly Cheeseman, he'll have a big canvas as the Islanders have a lot going on. Of course, they have UBS Arena. They are working with Oakview Group to drive bookings at that venue. They're also involved in the Belmont Park Village luxury retail outlet. That's a huge development near the arena. There's also the renovation of Belmont Park. That's the raceway that is continuing to be renovated, and it will reopen in a couple of years. But there's a lot going on in this complex that a lot of people are talking about, and it should be quite the mixed-use development when it's all completed. So Kelly Cheeseman will be at the center of all of that. He'll report directly to ownership. That's majority owner Scott Malkin. You have John Ledecky, and the team is really represented day to day by operating partner John Collins. So Kelly Cheeseman going from AEG Sports to the Islanders. So the takeaways from today's Buzzcast are, number 1, the NBA's very valuable relationship with China appears on the men after a very tenuous 6-year standoff. Number 2, the NFL is still trying to redefine its Pro Bowl, looking to move the game to the same city as the Super Bowl to kick off Super Bowl week. Number 3, these are the salad days of sports programming as viewership for MLB's playoffs and the NFL continues to increase, both seeing viewership up double digits year over year. And finally, don't sleep on the Islanders, UBS Arena, and Belmont Park and the renovation around that mixed-use development. It's a very interesting project, and now Kelly Cheeseman leaves AEG to become the president of business operations for the Islanders. And so that is your morning Buzzcast for Friday, October 10th. I'm Abe Madkour. Thanks for listening. Stay healthy. Be good to each other. I'll speak to you on Monday.